Yeah, geez, nearly blacked out. That was pretty good. NBA Straya. How are you going? Hey, again, I hope you're all right. You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Thursday and there's no basketball tomorrow, which is actually a bit sad, but there's lots of football, so that's good. Anyway, this is NBA Straya. It is Thursday, November 28, all day. I am your host, James Clements. As mentioned, you can also see my ugly mug on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show, the AFL Today show, NFL Australia, all the good stuff here in the fancy studio. The James Clements Excellence in Podcasting Memorial Studio, as we call it. We have 14 games to talk out today, which is just absurd. The NBA is ceding Thanksgiving to the NFL, while the NFL just muscles in on their territory and just takes over Christmas as well, is the most cowardly, dumbest thing you'll ever see, but at least all the players get Thanksgiving at home with their families. So today we've got a top of the West battle that was sick. The Cavs lost. The Sixers are cooked. Ben Simmons had his best game as a net. That was kind of neat. Jalen Green went off. Anyway, wrap them all up in the game wraps. We've got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Than Lonzo Ball. There's some Yanaz, the Unpopular Opinion of the Day, and Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame grill take. There is I think it's Kiwi Corner. It's Thursday. That's what we do. And there's no pick or previews for tomorrow because there's no games. That's what tomorrow's show will be. We're going to pick every game on the weekend. And we'll also talk out, the 5 most fun teams basically going, etc. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. Should be good. Let's get into it. Episode 1164 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. I don't know. Chuck actually went after LeBron yesterday, which is pretty good. Because I think it was brought up by the fact that Michael Jordan, remember him? He was good. In 30-point games, MJ had 562 of them. LeBron is 559. LeBron has played 1 million more seasons than MJ and more games. So Chuck did point out, listen, I love LeBron. But for him to be that far behind MJ and I played probably 8 more seasons, come on, man. You don't need to stop this. Enjoy that. Look, it's one of those things where as LeBron's just breadth of achievements are laid out for everybody to see, you sort of do forget that the pinnacle of MJ was absolutely untouchable and will forever be basically untouchable if you ask me. It's ridiculous. To have that many 30-point games in the career that was truncated, that he went to college. It was truncated at the end. He didn't have the modern miracle, magical marvels of medicine and stuff that LeBron James has that has nothing to do with stem cells or anything, and definitely nothing to do with steroids or whatever. So MJ was just I'm out here having a crack. Check this out. And LeBron's I'm going to play for 40 million years and break all the records. You're okay, LeBron. Yes, very good. Very good. He had a triple-double today, BT Dubs. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Straya. Crapping on LeBron? No. With a daily whip round. Steph was out. He's out for the weekend as well. It's seemingly precautionary, a bit of knee tendonitis seemingly. They're basically we want to give Steph a couple of RDOs and he can go have Thanksgiving with his family. It feels like that, right? They were already playing at home, however, but still, it's all good. In actual injury news, we had a couple of rough ones. We had Brad Beal go out in that game against the Nets. Cam Thomas, he was actually already out against the Phoenix Suns because he's out for 3 to 4 weeks with a hammy, which sucks because more than anything else, Cam Thomas, ideally, is a fun way to tank. If you're Brooklyn, you're let's just feed Cam Thomas. And Cam Thomas is we should feed Cam Thomas. And then you trade him. Or you trade everybody else. And the Nets are trying to basically figure out this point of we're 9-10. We keep beating every team in the West. What are we doing? And then At some point, they're going to have to gut it and just get rid of everybody. But anyway, so it sucks that Cam Thomas is out for 3 to 4 weeks because it sort of dings that. But at the same time, that puts him back around the start of January. He should be right. Brad Beal, he sort of limped off as well in that one. It was a bit of a weird one. With the Brad Beal stuff, it's like, yeah, it's just Brad Beal. What did he do? Oh, he probably got hurt. Like every time. It's like, did he play? Yeah, he probably got hurt. Yeah, that's how it goes. He was out there and there was this moment where it's like, oh, is he like limping off? It's like, yeah, Brad Beal did. That's the Brad Beal experience. Pretty late in it. You just sort of limped off. You're like, hopefully he's okay. But jeez. And that's about it. There wasn't a giant amount of other news today. We might just catch up on all the other sort of news stuff tomorrow. I mean, the biggest sort of thing that stood out for me today was like the Sixers are just kaput. Like it's almost over at this point. You're like, it's horrible. There's no other way to put it. They're atrocious. Like Maxey went off. They've got no one else though. This is the thing. Like without Paul George out there, like Max, we'll talk about it in the game wrap, but Maxey and McCain are just like, and Yabu are like the only dudes that are like trying. It's horrible. There's something amiss in the Sixers, and Nick Nurse might have already worn out his welcome. Just saying. Right, let's do some game wraps. 14 games! 14! It's so many. So we'll try to speed through all of this because it's just like a lot happened, and some of it was kind of interesting. Atlanta beat Cleveland. That's right, Cleveland lost for the second time all year, 135-124, and they blew a 19-point lead very early on. Atlanta just sort of caught up to them. Got him in the second half. Like the start of the second half was Zachary Rissache. Started hitting all these shots in the third quarter, and they kind of stomped them. The Cavs defense just couldn't slow anybody down. Atlanta used their size. Trae Young had a 20-20. He set a season-high record, 22 assists. That was pretty bloody good. Yeah, 20 points, 22 assists, 22, 9, and 7 for Jalen Johnson. And I love watching Jalen Johnson. I think I talk about him a fair amount on the show. It's because it's like, what if we drafted John Collins again? But this time he was good. Like, John Collins is fine. I don't know if he's good. And Jalen Johnson is bloody good. So, yes, this is a nice one. Donnie Mitchell had 30 and 7 for the Cavs. And Mobley had 22, 12, 5 assists, 4 steals. But it was everything else. They just couldn't get stops. It was weird. Atlanta were like smoking everything. Trae was just absolutely on one. And away they go. Cavs lose their second game of the season. They're 17 and 2. Hawks. They desperately needed that. They're 8 and 11. Portland fought hard, and they never quite got there. 114, lose to Indy 121. Third quarter for the Pacers got them up, and they stayed up there. 30 for Anthony Penny-Simons for the Blazers. The Pacers got 29 from Pascal Siakam. Benny Mathurin got fired up in the second half. He had 24, 10, and 3 in the end. And 28 and 10 for Halliburton. Was Caitlin Clark in the audience? Need some more shots of it. Find out. Because it was at home, and Tyrese Halliburton smashed it, and they won. What a surprise twist. He's showing out for the old Caitlin Clark. What do you reckon? Maybe just a little bit there, Jim. But the poor Blazers, look, they're shorthanded, and they just still fought. It was very cool. The thing is, they've got no size now. Like, Robert Williams is out with a concussion, Time Lord. They didn't play Duop, and Donovan Klingen's are also out injured still, right? So it was a bit of a weird, messy one for the Blazers, but the fact that they still tried so damn hard, Denny Avdija is like, hey, guys, I'm good. Remember that? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, he is pretty handy. He had 16, 5, and 7. He had 16 and 12 for DeAndre Ayton, 17 for Shaedon Sharpe. And that's kind of the thing they need to lean on. It was 8 of 19 shooting for Sharpe, but it's like, God, just feed him. He and Penny-Simons, let him go, and they kind of did, and they couldn't quite get there. Blazers now 7 and 12. Good win for the Pacers. They're back to 9 and 10. Chicago got curb stomped down there in Orlando. Nailed this one. So on the picks, I think we went 8 of 17 today. It looked like it could have been a disaster, but we pulled it back with some of the Brooklyn and the OKC and stuff down the stretch. So anyway, but they jumped it from the start, did the magic, and never looked back. Jalen Suggs was absolutely on one. Johnny Isaac was blocking everything. The Bulls, back-to-back, just looked all out of sorts. They got 21 for Dosunmu. You had THT. He's dynamite, looking like he's 60 years old. He had 20, 19, 11 for Vooch. Gids was all right. We'll talk about him in the Australian Player Watch. But Suggs was off his head. He had 31 and 7. He went 4 and 9 from deep. He's throwing oops to Goga Batazde, who's just like, this is great. He's Goga Dunk. Gog-a-dunk ball. The sheer look of delight. I think I tweeted that out. The sheer look of delight on his face could power the entire country of Georgia, I reckon. He was so happy. KCP had his best game as a Magic man. He had 24, went 6 of 10 from downtown. They needed that. 21 and 6 for Franz Wagner. And Mo Wagner was handy as well. Mo Wagner and Gids actually got into it a little bit. The weirdest point was at the end of this, it was a stupid jump ball that should never have happened. Franz twists his ankle on the jump ball, and it's like, can we not do this? And the weird part was there was a jump ball because someone had slipped over on an already wet patch where one of the Wagners had already fallen over. Franz goes down over it and it gets tied up. So the Orlando ball boy hadn't wiped the floor properly. Franz slips and then tweaks his ankle on the jump ball. So, yeesh, not great. Hopefully he's all right. Fingers crossed. Chicago 8 and 12. Those stink. 13 and 7 for the Orlando Magic men. They are back and flying. Houston beat the Philadelphia 76ers 122-115 despite having played yesterday and not getting into Philly till like 2:30 in the morning. This is why I picked Philly plus 5.5 yesterday. They lose by 7 in the end. This was 108-100 with like 2 minutes to go. And Houston then just like did not score the rest of the way. Philly scored 8 straight. Maxey hits 3 free throws on the dumbest foul you could ever possibly imagine on the attempted sort of game tie-up. Hits all free throws at the end, forces OT. And then Şengün and co. just sort of put the hammer down in the overtime. Oh, good. Just like yesterday. And boom, they got over the hump, which was very, very good. So this was awesome because it was Jalen Green with 41 and Tyrese Maxey with 39. It's just like, hey, who wants to see some small guards go off? And I'm like, me, that would be fun. And it was really fun. McCain couldn't do too much. He had 6 and 19 shooting for his 15 points. Yabu was awesome. He had 22. So Maxey goes 39. He goes absolutely off and then nothing. It's just brutal to watch for this Sixers team. They get booed. Everybody hates him. Jalen Green had the 41. Alpi Şengün got absolutely going in that fourth quarter and overtime. He had 22, 14, and 7. Amen Thompson is a weapon. He's ridiculous. He had 19. Philly dropped to 3 and 14. 3 and 14. What are you doing, Philly? It's more cooked than one of those bloody horrible Philly cheesesteaks that, I don't know, anywhere that you get it in Philly that isn't like one of the half-decent places, it is just the worst stuff in the world. Anyway, 14 and 6 for the Rockets. Good stuff there. Miami, this game was sick. Outlasted Charlotte in Charlotte. I'm so annoyed because obviously I was on Charlotte for this one. I had picked them yesterday, plus 3.5. They came flying back out of absolutely nowhere. Jimmy Butts leaves this game with his, with a tight back. TJ Salon hits a career high 13. They take the lead with 40-something seconds left on a corner 3 from him. They were down massive. They came flying back in the fourth quarter. Tyler Hero answers. They get back up. He gets a steal. Bang. Cody Martin gets fouled and misses both bloody free throws. So I feel like my pick of plus 3.5 for the Hornets was right because they ended up losing by 4 in the end. It was just bloody stupid. LaMelo, he had 17 in the fourth quarter. There is a dude with 0 conscience. He shot 11 of 35. 11 of 30. He took 35 shots. That's ridiculous. Spindles Miller goes 5 of 13 from downtown. LaMelo finishes the 32, 10, and 7. Just absolutely absurd gear and very, very funny. So enjoyed that a lot. So LaMelo's 17 in the fourth. It's like, he couldn't hit a shot. And then he's like, I don't care. I'm going to keep shooting. That's awesome. Good. What else is going to happen for the Hornets? Nothing. So just put it on your own shoulders and off you went. Very, very, very fun stuff. As I mentioned, TJ Salon with career high 17. The Heat, there goes my hero. Tyler Hero had 27. Duncan Robinson, 6 and 9. Nice. From 3 for his 22. Bam. Bam, 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 bam. Had 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 points. So close to the Jason Kidd triple-double. But either way, Charlotte dropped to 6 and 12. Miami are 8 and 8. Good win for them. On a back-to-back as well after their losing to the Bucks yesterday. The Clippers just kicked the crap out of Washington, 121-96. Harden was out there basically padding his stats. He had 13 and 22 shooting, 7-11 from 3. He had 43 and 7. It's like, James, you can sit down. He's like, no, I'm going to keep scoring and playing. It's like, you're up 30. He's like, do not care. The Wizards are horrible. Jordan Poole, they're horrible. There's no other way to put it. Poole was horrible. Bilal Coulibaly was horrible. They were just horrible. Like, what a horrible team. They've lost 13 straight, the Wizards. So, yeah, I was right to pick the Clippers minus 10.5. Clippers now 12-8, Washington 2-15. How lucky are Washington that Philly stink as badly as they do to take a bit of the heat off just how bad the Wizards are? Like Brian Keefe, he was interim coach last year. They named him the coach this year. He might get fired anyway. It's like, dude, you're on a hiding to nothing. Yikes. Tough one. Knickerbockers, 114. Dallas, 129. What a game this was. I hope you're watching this one because, wow, did Dallas kick the crap out of them. Until late, Nick's kind of just stuck around. How's Tibbs, though? He's like, I don't even care that we're down 20. I'm going to keep playing my starters. It's like, Tibbs, there's like 40 seconds left. He's like, I don't care. Stay in there, Brunson. And then he finally took him out. Brunson had 37. And it was just like the Knicks just kept like throwing fucking bricks into the void, hoping to kind of catch up to Dallas. And they kind of threatened to maybe get there every so often. And then Dallas had just hit another shot. Dallas looked great. I've got a couple of thoughts about this later on, but wow. 25, 14, and 4 for Cat. Not bad. And this is it. 37 for Brunson. But this is it. They were so good the other day against the Nuggets. I believed in this Knicks team. But if you kind of like make anybody outside of like, Brunson and Cat very good, obviously. If the other dudes outside of them are vaguely inefficient, the Knicks are cooked. They have no plan B, no plan C. Like OG Anunoby, after his best game basically ever, shot 3-15. Mikal Bridges, who's being paid like a super duper star, went 8 of 19 and was like okay-ish. But that was the bench took a total of 5 shots for 12 points. Spencer Dinwiddie had 21 for the Mavs, outscoring them by 9 by himself. Like, that's insane. And that was it. The Mavs really, really shared the love. Where is the love? And away they went. 23 for Kyrie, Q Grimes 21, 24 for Najee Marshall, who has been awesome, BT Dubs. And as mentioned, 21 for Dinwiddie, 19, 10, and 7 for PJ Hamilton, Washington. It was so well balanced. It was ridiculous. It was great stuff by the Mavs. Good win for them. Knicks dropped to 10-8. Mavs now 11-8. Detroit basketball got absolutely smoked by Memphis. 131-111. This was never close. They got out to a fast start, did the Pistons. Then they ground to an absolute halt, and the Grizz ran away with it from there because everyone was scoring. They had 7 dudes in double figures. Smart had 25 of the bench. For the Pistons, you had 22 for Sassa off the bench, 17 for Jaden Ivey, and no one else did shit. So Desmond Bane was one of the dudes who didn't get into double figures. So no Ja Morant. He hurt he had a knee contusion from the other day when he came back. So he didn't play in this one. Did not matter. Scottie Pippen Jr. crushed it. Smart was awesome off the bench. Desmond Bane can't hit a shot to save his life at the moment. He'll come good. If you can this is it. Memphis, they keep winning these games without dudes playing and without Bane fucking dropping 30 on everyone's head like he was last year, right? This is awesome. The Grizz are 12-7. That's unreal. And you look at the Sixers and the litany of excuses that come out of that goddamn godforsaken franchise. And you look at the Grizzlies, who are just grinding through wins, doesn't matter, and they're 12-7. Absurd. And the Pistons are 8-12. Hey, the Raptors won on the road for the first time this year. They're 1-10. Good on them. They absolutely straight killed the New Orleans Pelicans. They were the Pelicans today, I'll tell you that much. 119-93. The Pelicans were a mess. I watched a bit of this one. I'm going, they're not hitting anything. Gross. And turned it over. DeJounte went 5 of 17 in his return. He looked cookamated. He's like, yeah. It's one of those dudes that you can kind of see he knows what he's trying to do and just nothing was going in. Same for CJ McCollum, actually. He shot 7 of 20. Nothing else there for them either. No Trey Murphy in this one, I think. They did have Jordan Hawkins, and he wasn't good. So, yes, this was a, how you say, yes, bad game. Bad game for everybody involved, especially anybody who watched it. I'm just saying. It was gross because the Raptors shredded them using a little bit of the old 1-2, which is RJ Barrett and Okja Agbaji, apparently. Who knew? Yeah, there you go. Jordan Hawkins, 2 of 9. Brutal. 2 of 6 from downtown. But Okja Agbaji played his best game basically ever. He was unreal. 24-6-2, 22-8-11 for RJ Barrett. Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle didn't do much, but they had Scotty Barnes crushing it. 17-12-7. Off they go. Toronto, now 1-10 on the road, as mentioned. They're 5-14. And the Pelicans, oh God, they're horrible. 4-15. Sacramento outlasted Minnesota in a huge win because they'd won. I think they'd lost like a bunch of the games on the trot. And the Wolves had lost a bunch of games on the trot. All numbers approximate, just saying. No, the Kings had lost 4 in a row. And I think the Wolves had lost 3 in a row, I want to say. To the point where you're like, both these teams are meant to be sort of playoff. Oh, yeah, the Wolves had lost 3 in a row. Now they've lost 4 on the trot. And Minnesota played yesterday. They lose that game against the Rockets in overtime. And you're like, I picked Sacramento, a little bit rested. And you're like, maybe Minnesota, bit of pride on the line. Suvlaki King always fouls out when he plays the Wolves because Rudy Gobert just towels him up. Oh, and it was going that way. Minnesota were feeling good. Sacramento just did not score in the third quarter. They had 12 total points. Suva got into foul trouble, as predicted, and they scored 12 total points in that third quarter, and they were just doing nothing, and then it all clicked. It was absolute. This game was sick. Like, it was so close. The Kings just couldn't do anything, and then they could. Suva came back in, and it just unlocked absolutely everything again. The Wolves started falling apart. Like, Randall's trying to bully ball everybody. Go, I don't know what they're doing in the post. Oh. And Ant-Man's just getting pissy at everybody. And then Malik Monk and Darren Fox went, fuck this, we're winning this game. They outscored them 17-2 in the last 5 minutes. 17-2. It was absolutely unreal. Malik Monk was off his head, and they absolutely ran over the top of them. Which is just one of those things for the Wolves. It's like, yeah, you played an overtime game yesterday against just the Rockets, who are an absolute fucking meat grinder to play against. And you're playing against this Kings team, back and forth, and then suddenly Malik Monk and fucking Darren Fox get hot, and you get killed. So, tough one. 29-5-5 for Ant-Man, 21-9-4 for Randall, 16 for Conley, but Donte DiVincenzo, he's getting booed by the Wolves fans. Naz Reid, he went 3 of 7, 2 of 7 for Donte. It's a mess there in Minnesota. 27-12-5 for the Suvlaki King, Domantas Sabonis. Oh, yeah, cheers, Domantas. I'll have the combination meat. Thanks, mate. Fox had 26. Monk had 27-8-9. He was unreal. Minnesota 8-12 with the 4 straight losses now. And Sacramento 9-10. Lakers, they beat the Spurs. It took a bit, but they got there. 119-101. Good second half. They got it to 4 in the third quarter, and then Dalton Connect had like a nice bucket and then a steal that led to like a Anthony Davis dunk, and they were back up 10. They're up 15 going to the fourth quarter, and it was all right. So 20-10 for Wemby. Harrison Barnes with the 19. 18 as well for Champagny. But the Lakers got 20 out of Dalton Connect, and it's like, ooh, that's a bit more like it. That'll stave off the L's. And LeBron James had the 16, 10, 11 triple-double that I mentioned earlier. AD was fantastic. Finishes with 19, 14, and 7. But watching bits of this game, he was just absolutely everywhere. San Antonio dropped to 10 and 9. Lakers. The Lakers. 11 and 7. Denver smoked the Yaz. It's a soft J. 122-103. Utah got out to this massive lead early. They're up by 12. And Nikola Jokic went, maybe it's not much, not. He scored 19 points in the first quarter. It was absurd. Got them right back in it, and then they just delivered this awesome beatdown in the second quarter, did the Nuggets on the Yaz. It was like a 21-4 run, and then they beat them down again in the third quarter. The game was over. But the Jazz just have got no dudes. Like, it was kind of rough. Keontae had 23, Sexman had 26, but no Larry Markkinen, obviously, after his big fall yesterday and hurt his knee a little bit. 30, 10, and 7 for the Yoke, and 22 and 8 for Jam and Jamal Murray. As mentioned, he'd have a big one today. He did. He had 4 steals as well. Christian Braun at 18. Utah 4 and 14. Denver 10 and 7. 2 more to go. Bloody hell, so many games. 127. Brooklyn beat the Suns 117. Bang! What a sick game. This game was nuts because how'd they win that, Jim? Oh, Tyrese Martin went off his head. Who? Yeah, exactly. So Ben Simmons played an awesome game. He had 14, 9, and 8 in the end. Nearly had the triple-double. Probably his best game as a net. And the Nets just looked very cohesive. Like Dorian Finney-Smith was out there sort of causing all sorts of havoc. He hit a bunch of threes. But Tyrese Martin going absolutely off chops. So what was he? He's a old Golden State second-round pick from 2 years ago. He just goes whoopang for a career-high 30 on the Suns. And at some point you're going to go, geez, this might be a problem, this Suns defense. If you're going to give up 127 to the Brooklyn Nets without Cam Thomas, yeesh. Like Cam Johnson only had 11 as well, and he shot a very special number, which I'll talk about in a second. 29 for Dennis Schroeder. I am driving the rondo. But yeah, you can't get beaten by Tyrese Martin and Trendon Watford, who had 18. So the Nets shot the piss out of it. They went 18 to 42 from 3 and 50% from the floor, whereas the Suns shot 53% from the floor, but only 38% from 3. 17 turnovers, got just absolutely killed. They got straight killed by the Nets late as well. It was hilarious. This game was very, very funny. KD ends up with 30 and 8. He had 31 for Booker. He shot 8 of 18. And 10 and 12 for Taz Jones. And Brad Beal had the 17 before he hurt his leg late. So, yeah, they're just a bit of a mess, the Suns. But I'm happy that I picked the Nets. I thought the Suns would still win this in a close one, but on a back-to-back, it was always going to be a rough one. So there you go. Brooklyn moved to 9 and 10 and just keep beating the West. They've now beaten, the Kings, the Warriors, and the Suns. It's insane. And Phoenix dropped to 10 and 8. Tough one. Finally, the Warriors and the Thunder. 105-101. The Thunder win. No Steph Curry for the Warriors, and boy howdy, did they need him. This was a fun as hell game, though. The Warriors pushed them right to the edge, had the lead, and then SGA went off his bloody rocker. They lose J-Dub when he got dunked on, which is pretty crazy, by Cum Dog Millionaire. He cops one in the eye and just doesn't come back. It was brutal. He was smashing it as well. SGA ends up with 35, 9, and 5. Absolutely takes over late, crushes it. Cum Dog has 19. Wiggo was 16, 17 for Buddy Hield, who's just like, I'm a splash brother, check it out. And just got them flying back into it. And then it all sort of just went a bit sideways there at the end. Draymond passing it to Wiggins. Wiggins just overcooked it a little bit. They could have tied it up. And OKC, hold on. This was fun as hell. You add Steph to this mix. You throw Chet Holmgren back in there. Whoo boy, that would be fun. Golden State now 12 and 6. OKC 14 and 4. That was your top of the West clash. It was fun as hell too. Like Steve Kerr was absolutely loving it. He's like, this is a great game. He was like a spectator at times. He was like, this is just really fun. And yeah, like the Warriors, I think their big problem was like the fact that they didn't score for about 5 minutes. I think it was like they got the lead 94-98, 96-93. And you're like, all right, it's 5 minutes 45 to go. We're up by 3. This is awesome. They then didn't score again until there was 17 seconds left in the game. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but if you go 6 minutes, basically the last 6 minutes of the game not scoring, you're probably going to lose that game. It was like a weird testament to OKC's defense, but also like Golden State just couldn't hit a fucking shot to save their life. So awesome game, chaos game, very fun. Let's do an NBA Straya approved performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Oh, that's a knife. Jalen Green. So I've got a lot of problems with Jalen Green. But it is a testament to Houston. When I say they have too many dudes, they're playing on a back-to-back. They get in super late the night before. This is why you have so many dudes. On a back-to-back in the middle of fucking, like the end of November, you're going into Philly. You've just played an overtime game the night before. You're changing time zones. Jalen Green is like, I'm fucking 22. I don't give a shit. Check this out. He dropped 41 on the head, shot 12 of 20, 4 of 6 from 3, 13 of 14 at the line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 turnovers. What are you going to do? And went toe-to-toe with Tyrese Maxey, absolutely crushed it, and it was fun as hell. And he just basically carried them all the way through that fourth quarter. They had the lead, then they cook it, and then Şengün takes them home. That was awesome. Great job by Jalen Green. 39 for Maxey as well. Very nice. 37 for Brunson. Ben Simmons. Basically, it's an NBA Straya approved performance of the night because it was his best game as a net, essentially. That was awesome. just to see him doing stuff. I'll talk about him again in a second, but damn. And Anthony Penny Simons, playing a lone hand basically for a bunch of that game for the Blazers, kept them afloat, kept them in it till Denny Avdija and everybody else sort of woke up. That was really fun. And then finally, SGA just put his balls on the table. Boys, we're winning this game. Check it out. And they did. Yeah, but still, him versus Steph. That's all I wanted, and we didn't get it. Anyway, we've got a classic spud of the night, I'll tell ya.
Spud, 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 it is spud of the night.
Spud of the night. We have a new record, folks. That's right. We have it's equal record for the year. 0 of 11 shooting. That's right. We have a new top spud. Equaling, I think it was Marcus Smart back on October 29. Dylan Brooks, come on down. There he is. Dylan Brooks was so bad today. Equal worst of the season, 0 of 11 shooting. Hilarious gear because it's Dylan Brooks. Like, it's always going to be funny. He had 0 of 6 for Beef Stew. That's just what he does. 0 of 6, it's like, you're so big. How do you keep missing? And he's like, even I don't know, Jim. 0 of 5 for Johnny Uzang. And you had, I think there was another couple of 0 of 5s. No, that's it. 1 of 9 for Kevin Porter Jr. He was just bloody horrible. 1 of 8 for AJ Mitchell as well. What else? There was a 1 of 7 for Jordan Poole that I mentioned earlier, as well as Clint Capella and Lindy Waters III. Bilal Coulibaly, Chris Paul, Desmond Bain, Hayward Highsmith, Kevin Huerta, Keyshawn George. They all went 1 of 6. And Cody Martin, 2 of 10. Isaiah Collier, Collier. He's built like a bowling ball. He also went 2 of 10. And the 3 of 15 for OG Anunoby I mentioned. 4 of 14 for Fred VanVleet of the Fighting Van Vliets. And thank you. At the very end of the day, basically, our man Cam Johnson, he went and shot. Yeah, they're here next week, and he went and shot. Chill. 311, baby. Woo! Love that for him, and I love that for me. God, I can't wait to see that band next week. All right. What was next? How about, we should actually, it's good because we've got a 0 of 11 from Dylan Brooks today. Like, that's amazing. It doesn't happen very often. Like last year, I think we had some 0 of 10s, 0 of 12s. But yeah, 0 of 11 is pretty special. So I think we had Deuce McBride go 0 of 9 already as well. Halliburton went 0 of 8. But yeah, Dylan Brooks, you legend. Welcome to the Spud of the Night Hall of Fame. Who is Old Mate No Mates?
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no
Old mate, no
mates.
mates. Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? Ant-Man. Calling out everybody, including the fans in Minnesota. So he's like, the fans fucking booing us, man. That shit is crazy, man. We're getting booed in our own home arena. That's so fucking disrespectful. It's crazy. And then he was talking shit. He's saying the team is like growing apart. They can't talk to each other anymore. And it's everybody. It's not just like one of the newbies. Everyone has their own agendas right now. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, says Scooby fucking dude. Jesus. Ant-Man's putting everybody on blast. He's like, you suck, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out. That's what this one's saying to me. He's like, this is a shit show. You traded Cat. We can't fucking score anymore, and our defense is fucked. I hate that big French fucker. Julius Randle's a fucking mopey son of a bitch. Dante DiVincenzo can't hit a fucking shot. We've got nothing else. We're cooked. Trade me. That's the next step, right? Jesus. Anyway, tough scenes there in Minnesota. But yeah, old mate, no mates. Anthony Edwards is like an absolutely electric personality, and I love this. So I'd rather him be calling them out right now going, hey, we all need to get on the fucking same page. This is bullshit. That's the way forward. Just do it. And do it right. I love this. Anyway, he's got no mates, though. Everyone else in that locker room's like, yeah, thanks, man. Jeez. Tough. But as I keep saying, Joe Ingles, when he was playing, they were winning. Now he's got a calf injury and they're losing. Just saying. Well, what about pantsing of the night? Well, Cat Dog Millionaire had that dunk on J-Dub that put him out of the game. That was very disrespectful and very, 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 very big pantsing. But Brad Beal, if you want a pantsing, he airballed a layup, which is called doing a Ben Simmons, basically. But Ben Simmons got the rebound and then did the old, he smoked it signal. Which is a bit fucking rich coming from Simo, considering he just did a Ben Simmons and airballed a fucking layup off the backboard. Like, what do we... That is a pantsing, though, for Brad Beal. Brad Beal is just such a beaten down dude now. He's like, no, now I'm sad. I can't believe I'm getting dunked on by Ben Simmons for airballing fucking layups like Ben Simmons does. That's how bad I am. Tough one for Brad Beal. But good job by Ben Simmons. I mean, this is it. I want to see some of the joy. Some of that piss take. That's what we want to see from you, Simo. Look, playing good, giving shit to Brad Beal. Quick way back into my good books, I'll tell you that much. Finally, better than Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
We are coming for everybody. Hey, Micah Potter. If you were wondering who the fuck is Micah Potter, Jim, you'd be completely correct. He is a 26-year-old center for the Utah Jazz who went 3 of 6 from 3 today for 9 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 assists. Absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely unreal. So, yeah, he spent 1 year in Detroit, the last couple of years in Utah. He's played 16 games this season, and that was easily his best game. So that was pretty good. Good job, Micah Potter. There's 16 rebounds. It's just like, fucking, all right. Not bad, man. Not bad. Good size. But obviously with their injuries, he's being pressed into service. So it's pretty good. And then for last year, last year he had an 11-point game. He had a 10-point game. This year he's just gone out, smashed some threes, and away he went. I think that might have been his season debut as well. So that's good. Scottie Pippen Jr., 19-7-4 as well, which is always very, very nice to see a bit of the old Scottie Pippen Jr. out there, especially when we're talking about, Bronny James, etc. So, hey, whose kid's better? It's like Scottie Pippen Jr.'s like, yeah, fucking me, mate. Fucking me. Check this out. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And outside of that, there was also Ochai Agbaji, as I mentioned, 24 points. He was bloody good. It's about time. He is like this extremely tantalizing talent. 9 of 10 from the floor, not bad. 6 of 7 from 3, not bad. 24-6, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Ochai Agbaji, there you go. Better than Lonzo Ball, better than Bronny James. Micah Potter out of absolutely nowhere. That is just crazy shit. Good on him, though. I mean, I'm trying to find that box score again, and it's just like disappeared. What the hell? There it is. Okay. So you had Walker Kessler playing as well. They threw Micah Potter out there, and off he went. And he's played, was that his first game for the season? Yeah, it must have been. Good stuff. On you, Micah Potter. Good stuff. Righto, let's do some yeah-nahs right after, I reckon, this one.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Straya.
listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Does Spencer Dinwiddie listen to the show? Yeah, nah. I mean, maybe, yeah. We lit a fire on his ass the other day and put him on blast, and he has fucking responded, hasn't he? That's amazing how good he's been the last couple of games, especially considering how shit he was in that stupid game the Mavs should not have lost to the fucking Heat on the weekend. Dinwiddie has since just gone hammer and tongs. He shot 8 of 11 today, 3 of 5 from 3. And that came after he ripped off a 22, 3, and 4 up against the Hawks in that big fucking, again, surprising win for the Mavs. So, Spencer Dinwiddie the GOAT, question mark? Maybe. Hang on. Are the Mavs better without Luka? Yeah, nah. Ooh-wee. I'll tell you something for free. For all the assists that Luka gets, Doesn't it feel like the rest of the Mavs are way more involved when he's not playing? I'm just saying. Like, Najee Marshall is playing out of his ass. Spencer Dinwiddie's playing out of his ass. PJ Hamilton Washington's playing out of his ass. Kyrie with a bunch of big wings? Hello. Look at this. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I want to hit on the Sixers. I'll hit on the Sixers more tomorrow because we'll talk about the top 5 most fun teams to watch and then the worst 5 teams. Are the Sixers actually getting towards Cook now, Jim? Yeah, nah, yeah. Like, I was talking about this the other day. You're like, when you're 10 games under 500, you're in a lot of problems. You're in a lot of problems just to peg all that back. You're now 12 games under 500. Like, you have to play exceptionally good basketball the rest of the season. You're basically a quarter of the season is almost here and almost done, right? We've got, 1 or 2 more games. We'll hit the weekend essentially. We'll be at the quarter-way mark for pretty much everybody. I mean, for the Pistons, we're already some teams have played 20 already, right? So I think Orlando have played 20 games. That's your quarter-way mark. So maybe we'll do quarter-way MVPs and awards tomorrow or whatever, but the Sixers are fucked. They're 3-14. They get this horrible point differential. And it's like, oh, well, Joel Embiid will come back and fix everything. Will he? They didn't fucking win the games when he was back, So, anyway. And there's another one I'm going to have out tomorrow. Should we abolish conferences? I'm going to save that, keep that in the gun for tomorrow, which is good. But the big one is Ben Simmons back, Jim. Yeah, nah. This is all we want. Yeah, nah. Maybe. Because this is all we want from Simo, isn't it? Just like a bit of personality, a bit of gumption, and a bit of fucking, what is that? Confidence. That's right. Because when you're actually out there doing a little bit of shit talk, having a bit of fun, enjoying the basketball that you're playing, guess what? You play better basketball. And he was very fucking handy for the Nets today. Like, they don't win that game without him. And he gave them a little bit of a offensive push earlier in the half. He had the 10 points early on. And it was pretty crazy, like, tracking this game, watching it. And it's like, oh, shit. He's already got to the double figures. He'd only scored double figures once this season. And he did it again today. Just need to build up that confidence in his own body, in his own game, and he'll be fine. So this is like, the first couple of as I sort of came into this season, it's like the first 6 to 8 weeks, right? You get 6 weeks to basically prove yourself and get yourself back into game form and build up your confidence. And Simo's hitting that point where this is almost like, a month into the season, heading into that 4 to 6 week territory. Not bad. Is he back? Back? Maybe. But you can see in like 2 to 3 months' time, if he's like fully fit, stays healthy. Whoo. Look out. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
He was awesome today, but 41 points. I mean, cool. I still fucking... Jalen Green, it's so frustrating. Steve Francis 3.0, right? Because we've already done the Donnie Mitchell, Steve Francis 2.0, but then he sort of turned that around. Good on him. Again, there's another man who listens to the show. We lit a fire under him. He fixed his game. He was very, very good. Jalen Green. I just want to see this sort of game way more often and not the fucking 3 of 13 game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Finally, bit of Outback Takehouse. It's Thursday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah, 2 for 1 blooming onions. That's right. No prick in Australia knows what the fuck these things are. It's some sort of deep-fried onion made to look like a flower. What the fuck are you talking about? No one knows. We've got former PMs who bite into fucking raw onions. Don't know about this deep-fried make them look like a flower bullshit. Just saying. Only at Outback. 2 for 1. Let's do it. And today's Flame Grilled take is, if the Bucks are better without Giannis and the Mavs are better without Luka, why don't we fucking swap them? Only at Outback. Kind of fun. But I mean, so the Dame, I didn't actually talk this one out properly yesterday. The Bucks Giannis question is actually a very interesting one. Dame averages 31 and 8 without Giannis. It's pretty good. last couple of seasons, 10 games, 31-8. And the Bucks went 5-5 in those 10 games without Giannis, including the Heat win yesterday. A 2-point loss to the Cavs, who were 8-0 at the point this year. They beat the Suns without Giannis last year with Booker, Beal, and Durant all playing. There's a 3-point loss to the Celtics last year as well with all their dudes playing. So I'm just saying, Dame time might be weirdly stymied by Giannis. Maybe if we give him Luka, we get cooking. What do you reckon? Only at Outback. I've also got a James Harden conversation I want to hit on tomorrow, but either way. Right, let's do a quick Australian player watch for November 28. Ben Simmons, as mentioned, was at his best game as a net. Probably. Big win over the Phoenix Suns, 129-119. He had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists and a steal, and shot 7 of 8 from the floor, and more importantly, looked confident. It was very cool. Josh Giddey in the 133-119 loss to Orlando. Got into it with Mo Wagner a couple of times. It was pretty fun. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 5 an assist and a steal. He had a great shooting game. He went 5 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3, and 1 of 1 at the stripe. The problem is Chicago were getting their heads kicked in, so there wasn't much he could do. He only played the 23 minutes in the end. Josh Greeny Green, as that Charlotte Hornets team kind of went off late. He played 30 minutes. He went 3 of 7 from the floor in the 98-94 loss to Miami. He went 0 of 2 from 3. He had 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Not bad. Johnny Furphy, old mate Froths. He played 9 minutes in the win over Portland, 121-114. He went 0 of 2 from the floor, both of which were threes. So he had 0 points, but he had a steal in his 9 minutes. Not bad. You'll take that, right? I will. If I was Johnny Furphy, I'd take that. Obviously, no Jingling Joe Ingles for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I guess in that same game, for Johnny Furphy, there were a couple of other Aussies, but they were on the bench because doo-wop, bop-bop, doo-wop. The Great Barrier Reef himself, doo-wop Reef, copped the did not play coach's decision against the Pacers, and so did Aussie Matty T, still recuperating from his knee injury, which sort of sucks. So, yeah, the Blazers had Scoot Henderson back. They had DeAndre Ayton, and they sort of just didn't have another big man. So, sure, I'd just play Duop Reith if I were in charge, but unfortunately, I am not. In the Houston win over Philly, Rock'em Sock'em Block'em Jock'em Landale and the Unabomber Jack McVeigh, both cop did not play coach's decisions, which sort of sucks, but you get that. And Patty Mills up against the Denver Nuggets. Patty did not play coach's decision. Is the anti-Strayan bias raising its ugly head again, Jim? Yeah, nah. Might have today. I'm just saying. I was watching all these games going, put the bloody Aussies in. What are you doing? I've got a show to do later. Got to give me something to talk about. At least Dyson Daniels was out there in that big win over the Cavs. 135-124. They win that game. He played 36 minutes. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a block. He shot 4 of 11 from the floor, but 2 of 3 from downtown and 2 of 2 at the line. Not bloody bad. And Luke Travers for the Cavs didn't get out there because I think he was with the Canton Charge. So they've played a bunch of G League games of late, and Travers has been with them, which is cool and all good. And Alex Dukas didn't get out there for OKC either. He didn't dress. So, yeah, there you go. Good one for the Aussies. Right, what about a bit of the old Kiwi Corner? That's what we do on a Thursday. We go and check out, see what Steven Adams has been doing. And I'll tell you what, Steven Adams had the ball ripped away from him at one point, which was a bit weird. And I'm like, hang on a second, what is bloody going on here? It was a bit of a weird one. He also got his shot blocked by KJ Martin. He also missed a couple of free throws too. So anyway, it was a pretty crazy sort of outing for big Steven Adams, bro, because it was his first game in a week. I think he played to start like last Saturday as well. So he had 1.1 rebound, 3 assists in that game against Portland back on Saturday. And then today he had 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 block, went 0-2 from the floor in his 7 minutes. 1 turnover as well, where I feel like it got ripped from him. And it's just like one of those things where you're like, it doesn't happen very often. Not to Steven Adams, you know? Not to the one that I know and love. Where was that? I'm trying to remember who did it. No, it doesn't say who grabbed it. But either way, it was pretty crazy that they just sort of snagged it out of his arms. Anyway, so that's a bit of the Kiwi corner for you. And I guess we should just do a quick Paddy Mills Game Day Ball or Game Day Twitter check-in now as well because, well, that's basically going to be it. Dyson Daniels, he's posted. That's cool. 135, 124. Him high five. Oh, no, that's Jalen Johnson and Trae Young high-fiving. And then Trae Young shushing the crowd. The most dimes in an NBA game this season. Dyson Daniels standing up for his men. And then coming in looking pretty neat with that pretty nice drip. What is it? Ultra drip by, he's looking very sharp. Very nice by Dyson. You'd love to see it. What about Gids? He's posted as well. Oh, geez, on holidays already. On the golf course. Like, didn't you have a game today? Not bad, Gids, not bad. There you go. I think there was also... Anthony Edwards compared Minnesota to a bunch of little kids, called them all front runners. So, yeah, when you talk old mate, no mates, Ant-Man is probably going to cop a lot of criticism over the next couple of days. But you know what? I love it. I reckon let him fucking know, Ant-Man. Put him on blast. Make your feelings known so that they can at least have a crack at trying to fix it. And you need to be a leader and lead from the front. Call your teammates out and then lead them to a win next time you play. So, there you go. And, yeah, no games to preview for tomorrow. So on tomorrow's show, we'll preview the entire weekend for you and talk through a bunch of other stuff. That's it for today. Not bad, huh? Not bad. We will be back on deck tomorrow. We'll probably have a slot. It'll probably come out earlier tomorrow. Just sort of do it in the middle of the day because that's what we're going to do. So in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facebook, IG, all the good stuff, as well as TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, jump on there, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell on the YouTube so you can listen in and get a notification every time we drop a show, which is every day. Get around NFL Australia as well with myself and Gaz. It's very, very fun. I wrote a big article about NFL Week 13 today as well. Go read that if you want. Get around the AFLW Today show. They've got the grand final show tomorrow. That's going to be massive. North versus Brisbane should be very good. The Cricket Today show as well. They're crushing it. Putting the Aussies on blast. Football Today show for your soccer. Hold all tickets for your GGs as well. New one went out there. Producer Gerald did a great job on that. So check us a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify. Love it. Thumbs it up. Whatever you got to do on YouTube, whatever app you're using, the Android phone, rate, review, star. It really does help out. I ask for so very little. When people say, Jim, what do you ask for? And I say, very little. That's my answer every time. So if you can do that, that'd be really handy. Rate, review, star. Leave a comment. Review it. Go nuts, please. 5 stars or a fight chart. Right. Otherwise, big thanks to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They always rule. And so do House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sex Shadow, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on wherever you listen to your tunes. Spotify, Apple Music, CDs. Do people do that still? I don't know. NBA Straya supports Australian bands. So should you. And that'll do it. So we will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads, for a big weekend preview show and probably the quarterway vibes, thoughts, maybe some awards, all that sort of good stuff. Should be a fun one. I reckon the top 5 most fun teams. We might rank all the teams in terms of fun. Does that sound good? I like that. All right. Speak to then, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya. Say, look after yourselves, would you? And little Hosanna.